Hello everyone, welcome to Apex Labs. In this session, we will understand about scheduling policies and work rules. So, scheduling policies are the rules present in the system with the help of which the optimization engine of Salesforce identifies the right resources or right candidates for any work order or a service appointment or any job. So, that is a one liner for scheduling policy. Now, scheduling policy comprises of two aspects. One are the work rules and second are the service objectives. So let's see how do we visualize them. In order to look into the scheduling policies, you can go to field service settings and then to the guided setup, and once you click on it, you will get all the scheduling policies present in the system. Let me show you how to navigate to this. So first of all, you need to click on the field service settings, and once you click on field service settings, you should be able to get the guided setup. And once you click on guided setup, then it will navigate you to configure the scheduling policies, the service territories, and all other aspects. So yeah, so now the field service settings are loaded, and then we go to the guided setup, and then here you could see that we can create service territories, we can create work types and skills, we can create service resources, we can create dispatchers and agents, we can customize appointment bookings, we can customize scheduling policies in the system. So let's understand one of the custom. So as of now in the developer org, I have got four scheduling policies which were created of its own. First is customer first, then emergency, then high intensity, and then soft boundaries. Let's try to explore one of them. So any scheduling policy comprises of two aspects. So one are the work rules and the second ones are the service objectives. So work rules help the field service engine to identify the right resources for a particular job. So it helps to filter out the resources. Suppose there are 10 resources in the system and only 2 of those service resources follow the work rules under a scheduling policy, then those two candidates will be available as slots in the system. Similarly, out of those two resources which have been identified, which one should be given a preference, that is based on service objectives. So service objectives, under service objectives we define the weight of each objective, and then there we identify what is the importance of each objective. So for example, here we have preferred service resource, then as soon as possible, same site, minimize travel, minimize overtime, skill level, and resource priority. So as of now in this particular video, we will mostly focus more on work rules and scheduling policy. So under customer first, you could see these are the work rules. Now let me explain about some of these. One is the due date. So due date work rule ensures that all the service appointments would be booked before the due date of the service appointment. So for example, a service appointment has a due date on 8th of May 2024, then all the slots, when booking that appointment, all the slots which will be available to us will be available before 8th of May 2024. Similarly, we have the work rule earlier start permitted. This work rule ensures that all these slots which would be available to us for booking an appointment will be after the earlier start permitted of a service appointment. So for example, any service appointment has an earlier start permitted of 2nd May 2024. Just an example, suppose any service appointment has an earlier start permitted of 2nd May 2024, then all the slots which will be available for that particular service appointment will be after 2nd of May 2024. So these two work rules ensure that all the service appointments fall between earlier start permitted and due date. Okay. Similarly, we have match skill. This work rule will ensure that all the resources which will be available for particular appointment or work order should have the right skill which is required in order to do the job. We'll understand about it in detail, but as of now, this is how it will work. Then we have match territory. Match territory work rule ensures that all the resources which are available for doing any particular job should belong to the same territory as that of the service appointment. So suppose we have multiple territories in the system, but suppose the service appointment for which we are trying to book belongs to one of the territory, then the system will try to find resources which belong to the territory present in the service appointment and not all the territories present in the org. Similarly, we have the others: required resource availability, scheduled start, and we will discuss these in details in further sessions. Then we have active resources. Active resources ensures that only those service resources will be picked for doing any particular work order, service appointment, or any job who are active in the system and not inactive. So this is how the work rules work under a scheduling policy. Now let's try to create a I will try to show you how I created a work rule and how did I included it in a scheduling policy. So in order to create a work rule, we need to go to the tab with the name work rule, and then you can create any work rule in the system. So as of now I have created a work rule with name match skill, and the logic here is skill type logic, all skills match. So it ensures that all the service resources which will be available for a service appointment should have the right skill which is required in order to do that particular work order or a service appointment. So this is how we created a work rule. Now in order to link this work rule to a scheduling policy, you just need to go to the related list, and with the help of new button you can assign this particular work rule under any particular scheduling policy. So as of now I am not assigning it to anyone because I have already assigned it to customer first scheduling policy. Now we can also assign a work rule to a scheduling policy with the help of field service settings. Just you need to go to the scheduling policy and then you can assign it. So for example, under emergency, or say high intensity, or say soft boundaries, let's say for soft boundaries we want to assign match skill work rule, then we will just move this match skill from left to right and then it will be saved. So you could see now that this soft boundary scheduling policy has this work rule match skill. You can also visualize it with the help of the data present here. In order to do that, you just need to go to scheduling policies, yes. So and then let's go to all the scheduling policies present in the system. You could go to soft boundaries, and in the related list you will find that match skill is already present. So this is the way how we can assign any work rule to a scheduling policy. Now let's try to see how these work rules play an important role to identify the right resources. So for that I would go to any work order in the system. Now in this work order you could see that if I go to the related list of this work order, you will find a skill requirement which says air conditioner installation. So that means in order to complete this work order, it's important that the service resource should have this skill, air conditioner installation. Now I will tell you how to create the skill. In order to create the skill, you just need to go to setup, and then in setup, in the quick find you can type skill, so just open the skill, and then from here you will be able to create skills, edit skills in the system. So here I have created two skills in the system, say air conditioner installation and refrigerator installation. So in order to create a new skill, you can just click on new, and then you can create any skill. So for example, I can create any skill. Say suppose I want to create a skill of car repair. Let us suppose this is also a skill. So I'll just create a name like this, and then I'll assign some profiles to this, and then I'll save it. So this way we can create skills in the system. And now how these skills are associated to the work order, that happens with the help of work type. So just to give you a short summary, in work type in the related list, we can go and define the skills required for this work type. So as of now, I just created a new record and assigned the air conditioner installation as a skill requirement for this work type. So whenever you would create any work order with this particular work type, then automatically in the skill requirement you will get a value with air conditioner installation. So in this way, the skill requirements are attached to a work order. Now let's see how it works in order to identify the resources for any particular work order. Yeah, so in order to book an appointment, I would first of all change the app as of now. Yes, so let's go to this work order, and then I'll click on create a new service appointment, and then I'll click on get appointments. So while we click on that get appointments, system tries to identify the right resources for this work order, and it is also trying to identify those resources which would be having this skill of air conditioner installation, because that is very important to book this appointment. As this is because in the field service settings under the customer first scheduling policy, we have mentioned that skill requirement is a mandatory thing. So that's why the system is trying to identify resources which has the right skill. So now you could see that the system is not able to identify any slot here, because there is no resource present in the system who has the air conditioner installation skill. Therefore, in order to resolve this issue, what we need to do is that our resources should have the right skills. So for that, we will go to the service resource, and then in the related list we will go to service resource skills. Now you can just click on new record and then assign a skill to this particular resource. So I will assign this air conditioner installation skill to this resource with a start date something in the past, so that the system is identifying the resource correctly. So because while the service appointment is getting booked, as I mentioned that the system will try to book an appointment which is between the earliest start permitted and the due date of the service appointment. So it's important that the resource should be available, and that resource should have the skill between the time period of the earliest start permitted and the due date. Then only system will able to identify the right resource for this particular work order. So now for the field service resource which we have, I have just provided a service resource skill air conditioner installation, and then I'll go to the work order. I'll refresh the page so that I could do a new appointment. I could book an appointment, and yeah, so just let the page load, and then we will again make a request to Salesforce to get an appointment for us. So I clicked on create a new service appointment, and then I clicked on get appointments. Now system will again look into the whole database and then identify the resources who have this skill of air conditioner installation. So now you could see that we are able to get the slot. We are able to get the slot because we have assigned the right skill to our resource. So now we can click on one of the time slot, and then the system will be able to book an appointment and assign it to a particular resource in the system. So now you could see that the appointment has been booked. Let's go to this appointment, and then we could see that the status of this particular service appointment scheduled, and then in the assigned resource you could find that our resource would be present as an assigned resource. So this is how this is just a demo of to show how the service appointment worked and how the scheduling policy worked and helped us to identify the right resource and to book an appointment. So just to recap, what we did is that first of all we had a scheduling policy in the system, that is customer first, and then we created a skill in the system saying match skill, which ensured that the service appointment which will be booked to a resource who has that skill which is required for doing the job. So we created the skill and then we assigned the skill to the scheduling policy. Now once the association of the skill to the scheduling policy was done, then we went to the work order, and then we in the related list we went and saw what is the skill requirement for this particular work order. So these are the skill requirement, and then we clicked on the book appointment button to get resources or candidates for this to book an appointment. In the first instance we did not get any appointment because of the fact that there were no resources present in the system which had this skill of air conditioner installation. So in order to resolve this issue, we went to the field service resource and ensured that our resource has this skill. So we just created new record and assigned air conditioner installation skill to this particular resource with a start and end date which falls in between the earliest start permitted and due date of the service appointment. So I assigned it of 1st February so that with no end date, so that system identifies that hey, this field service resource has a valid skill which falls in the time period of the earliest start permitted and due date of the service appointment. Then when I clicked on the appointment and I clicked on get appointments, we were able to get the slot and the service appointment was booked. So this was a short demo of how scheduling policy and work rules work together to identify the right skills, right resources for a right job. I hope this video was informative to you. If you liked the video, do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.